So there's two parts when we talk about these primary spirit issues in fertility. The first part is what we were just saying, this kind of over-control of the lower spirits by the upper spirits. So this conscious mind saying, I want this, I'm going to use these numbers, I'm pushing with organizing my dates, the week, we're going to have sex on this day, and we're going to not have sex on this day, and we're going to do these, and we're going to take more pharmaceuticals and more vitamins and all this sort of thinking function that overrides, that over-controls the yin rest state, the intuitive capacities, the body knowing. And all of the artificial hyperstimulation of the reproductive processes, the depletion of essences, but really importantly also is the denial of organic process. This refusal to accept that there's a wisdom, and that sometimes we're just pushing too hard. So that's the first piece. And then the second piece of it is actually what we've been talking about when the yang spirits actually leave. Right? So first they're pushing and pushing and trying to control everything and over-control everything. And the monarch is not speaking to her ministers and her support. And all these lower souls are desperately trying to bring something back to rhythm, but there's no communication. Then when there's trauma, the upper spirits just leave. They're like, I'm out of here. So there's no executive function, and there's an abandonment of that organizing principle. And that's when, so I've been doing a lot of work with the 7 Po souls, and my conviction is that the 7 Po souls, which are often talked about as problematic demons, are actually wisdom guides. And the one wisdom guide, the Po that is particularly relevant to this work, is the Po soul related to the kidneys, Shu Po, longevity. The original name of this Po soul was longevity spirit, right? The kidneys. And that capacity to carry on the essences, but also to carry on the wisdom of longevity. When there's trauma and the Shen abandons the Po, this longevity spirit of the kidneys transforms into a demon, a possession.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So there are 7 Po souls. I'm only talking about one of the 7. We're talking about they each are related to a different organ. And Shu Po, which is the kidney, it's the Po, the lower soul related to the kidneys. All of these Po, when they're abandoned by spirit, when the Shen abandons its relationship to the Po soul, upper and lower spirits split, then these lower souls can become possessions. They can become demons. What's happened is that we've lost the recognition of the wisdom of the animal body. So in much of current or more recent texts, they talk about the Po as Gui, as demons. Okay, and I'm not going to get into all the pieces of that, but I will say that it's taken me a long time to get this research done, and it's done. But it's on its way out. But the fact is that the Po originally, so what we're talking about these Po or Gui, they were originally the moon soul. The character was originally moon soul. The lunar, they were the soul. They were the companion to the light, the Shen. That's who they are. But they need that marriage. And when that marriage is disrupted, and that's what we're talking about, these Po, which are the wisdom of the organs themselves, actually can become possession states. They become demons. But they're not by nature. By nature, they're wisdom guides to the body. So we know the longevity spirit of the kidneys is about knowing how to work with time and accepting, surrendering to the cycles of time. So we can see what happens when that guidance of the stars is lost. They're telling us, this is so, when you, okay. The Taoists are telling us what happens when that kidney spirit, when that wisdom animal of the spirits is abandoned by the Shen, it can turn into a possession. And the possession it turns into is greedy thief. So that's who you're dealing with. Like, I've got to, even your patient, she's not dealing with the posal. She's not honoring, loving the necessity of the animal to grieve. And it's taken over by this greed, this desperate greed to have my wishes, sort of fulfilled. And it's never enough for greedy thief. It's never enough. So what we want to do, again, here, is, and this is an incredible, actually, ancient Chinese painting of, what we need to do with these Po souls. I mean, you can see that the goddess we have to love them. And we have to recognize their divinity and bring them back into the circle of conversation, the circle of awareness.